90% of SEOs undervalue themselves. A skill that we have is bringing websites to the top of Google. Not many people can do that.
So your business hit 7 figures when you were 24. So personal branding is what really edged you over?
If you were to take a look at like people that got hit in the helpful content update in 2023, a lot of them only had a blog. That's also to say like you shouldn't be focusing on one thing. You try multiple things and see what works out of all of them. Because if video falls tomorrow, what are you going to rely on? Are you going to rely on Facebook ads? Are you going to rely on PPC, for example?
I'm going to rely on pole dancing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome to Biztainment by Anni and Vani, and today's guest is Kasra Dash.
We have Kasra Dash here. He started as a web developer and now he owns empires. He hasn't told me exactly how many empires he has, but we're gonna get it out of him today. This man lives by one rule, which is failing fast, failing hard, and learning as much as possible. And he's done this all before the age of 30. He's 29? Oh my gosh.
28.
I'm so sorry. You're looking mad old. How do you bring people that isn't in marketing into your world?
I think the number one way to getting people into marketing is by dumbing things down. Like we always go on about these crazy acronyms like ROI, SEO, PPC, and most people don't even know what those things are. But I would say that's more of like the serious and ugly side of business and marketing. There's always the fun side, like the stuff that you do.
You guys have a crazy business model, like for one of your businesses, where you don't even make your clients pay until their clients pay them. That's insane.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Freaking insane. So can you take us through that? Because like a lot of the SEOs, they're just like, okay, pay me first and I'll work for you. But no, you take a completely different approach. How does that work?
Yeah, so our clients don't pay us until not until they've had the lead, not until they've converted the lead, but until they've been paid. So let's say, for example, Annie is a plumber. She gets a lead from us and she converts that lead. Maybe it's for, I don't know, a leaky tap. She gets paid, and then we get paid from her winnings. So we don't do like monthly retainers. We don't do any of that. And the reason why we do that is because first of all, it needs to work for us. So we need to basically keep ourselves accountable and say, right, okay, well, if we're going to be doing this, we need to be great at SEO and generating the actual lead, making certain that the lead's actually high quality as well. Like it's not just about giving Annie that lead. It needs to be matching your criteria. So let's say, for example, you only work with, 10 bedroom mansions. We need to find people that are interested in that service. So yeah, we basically do that.
Has there anybody that has not paid you and got leads from you?
Yeah, we tend to switch them off. So we don't work with people like that. Like it's very much back to what you were saying. It's very much down to a trust thing. So if we can't trust you, and if we know you've been converting the leads and you've been getting paid, we'll switch you off after a month.
Incredible. Oh my
That's
God.
a very unique way of doing business as well. Not many people,
It's kind of like the $100 million, the Alex Hormozy approach, where he's always talking about like it's all about the offer.
Irrefutable offer.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Like how we always say to it, like you need to be an absolute idiot to say no to this. Like what? So you don't want more business or more leads for your actual company. You still sometimes do get it where people are like, no, I'm not interested. Typically speaking, those are companies that are like semi-retired. Maybe it's like a 60-year-old man. He doesn't want more staff. He doesn't want a bigger office. So I understand it at times, but like if you go to like the average business owner, they'll probably want something like that. And that's not to say that we work with everyone. We probably turn away 95% of the inquiries that we get.
I really want to know about your life before you got into business and marketing. Who were you before you became
I actually started doing marketing indirectly for a business that me and my dad were doing. So my dad like me and my dad would go to like a car auction most weeks, and we would like pick out some used cars, and we would buy them and then flip them and sell them on like Gumtree, which is like the UK's Facebook marketplace at the time. That obviously like required like photography, cleaning up the car, marketing it, trying to sell it on Gumtree. So that was like my first in when it came to like marketing. And then after that, like maybe a year after that, I bought my first like gaming PC, and I started doing like websites. So I started like creating websites for like businesses that just didn't have that much money. It was like £50 or £100 websites, like one-off jobs. And then that kind of got me into like web development and stuff like that. And then like a couple years after that, that's when I started learning more about SEO, more about like WordPress. Like prior to that, like I was building websites on Wix, which a lot of the SEOs watching this would like probably cringe hearing that. But again, like 15-year-old Kaz didn't know any better.
That's amazing. You started when you were 15. When do you think it was the point that you kind of blew up in business? Like, were you that pinnacle between like not knowing a little bit, but like you knew it now?
Maybe only in the last few years. I think so. One of the biggest like knowledge bombs or knowledge nuggets, whatever you want to call it, has come from like just being able to speak to James, because like he's got all of these different like assets and businesses that he's invested into, and just like hearing like how he's like approaching certain deals or how he's speaking to certain clients kind of gets your mind thinking. Like I think that probably 90% of SEOs undervalue themselves. Like a skill that we have is bringing websites to the top of Google. Not many people can do that. And it's very, very valuable for businesses, especially if they want more sales or if they want more leads. Whatever their KPI is, they want more of that. And I just don't think there's many great SEOs that charge the correct amount, if that makes sense. So I think that just speaking to James on a daily basis has been able to help me on that side.
Speaking of James Dooley, how did you find your way under working with him? Because people are always begging to work with James Dooley. How did you stand out above all those beggars?
Do you know what? I didn't even beg. I went to Mastermind in 2019, start of 2019 before COVID, and I was literally just on my laptop just showing him, or it wasn't even him, it was Craig Campbell that I was showing a few different stuff that I was working on at the time. And James is a technical dinosaur when it comes to like tech SEO, fixing websites, finding issues. Like he's really good at, like if you were to give him like a set of tasks to do, he'll smash out the park. But finding those tasks at the time, he was really bad at. So he saw that I had this technical SEO skill. So he was like, "How much do you want? I'll hire you," right there and then. And like it goes against like everything that you've been taught in school, because in school you would have been taught like, "Hey, you need to go for an interview. You need to get past the interview stage." He just met me at a bar and was like, "Right, how much do you want?" But like what I always say is like the skills that he had, I didn't have, and the skills that I had, he never had. So like he was a really good businessman. He was really good at SEO, like not from a technical standpoint, but he just knew how to create websites, get them ranking. Maybe not so in like the difficult niches at the time. I think both of us excelled after that. But yeah, I think even if you just remove James from the picture just for a second, right? If myself and you, or myself and Vani, was to get into like a JV partnership, the skills that I always look at is, all right, what skills have you guys got that I don't have? Like you're really good at, for example, marketing yourself. You're really good at sales, right? I might be really bad at sales, and I'm like, right, okay, perfect. It's a good partnership there. Another thing that I always take a look at is like, would I be able to go on holiday with this person, like without killing them? And I can say that me and James since then have been on a lot of holidays together and we've not killed each other yet. So yeah, that's the two things that I look at.
That's amazing, because I know that a lot of young people coming up, they don't really provide a lot of skill sets. Instead, they're just like begging, which I do too. I beg a lot. I'm like, yay, please work with me. Instead, what you did was come with a valuable skill set that your mentor was missing. So finding that angle that they were missing and providing that missing puzzle piece. And then you guys started growing your empire together.
So you have many businesses together as well?
Yeah, so we have invested into a lot of businesses. Like he's got a lot of things that I'm not involved in. I've got a few things that he's not involved in, but then we've also got like the core companies that we've invested in together with as well.
What are some skills that he has helped you improve, like, you know, before you met him and after you started working with him?
I think that the business acumen, like understanding what deals to go with or who to partner up with, like just having that instinct is probably number one. It's probably also saved me from making a lot of silly decisions as well. Like when I was like a nobody, I was always thinking about how to make quick money. And quick money can tarnish brands. And there was like a few ideas, like nothing really comes to mind now, so I can't give any examples, but there was a few ideas now that I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, that was a bad idea. That he was like, no, you shouldn't do this. It would have made a lot of money, but it would have pissed off a lot of people as well.
Does it also mean that quick money is like taking shortcuts?
Yeah, shortcuts. It could have been like black hat strategies. It could have...
Some burn and churn.
Yeah, just burn and churn strategies. Maybe not even from an SEO aspect as well. It just wasn't smart to make. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was burnt down in one. It took a lot of days or years to build Rome, but an empire can fall very quickly as well.
Yes, I think that applies in a relationship as well. It takes a lot of effort and time and work to build a relationship, but then to just, you know, break it down, it just takes one thing, right? Like especially trust. If you don't have like trust with the people you work, then it doesn't really work in business or any kind of relationship.
A few other skills that he's probably taught me. So like business, by all means, like I feel like I would be able to hold a conversation with like a business, like PhD student. I'm sure there will be skills that he would have that's better than mine, but I would be able to keep my own. From an SEO point of view, I feel like we do a lot of testing, breaking websites, trying to figure out like how far we can basically go before being penalized, for example. So we do a lot of tests like that.
You were talking about businesses that you work with, James. What are the businesses that you have for yourself that you call your own?
So I've got my own personal brand. I do a lot of consultation work from that. I've got my SEO.app, and I've also got the Masterminders, which is the conference in June.
So how many people do you actually take in for the Masterminders?
So for the actual Mastermind, which is on day one, that's usually 60 people. We don't want to go above 60 people. Typically, when you have more than 60, like the quality of people go down. Like last year, I think we had about 85 people purchasing tickets, and we had to refund 15 people or 25 people because they weren't meeting the criteria. Like they're just starting out in SEO. That's how I see it. So Mastermind, day one, 60 people. VIP day, which is like the workshops, that'll be 100. And then the actual main day conference is 250.
So how is it different than any other Mastermind event? Because every conference, they also set up their own Mastermind event for a day, right? So how is it different than? Yeah,
so we actually get people to be Mastermind captains almost. So like every group has 2 captains inside it. Usually the people that are in those groups I know personally. So, for example, you've got James as one of them. We've got Mads as another. We've got Dennis Yu as another one. Corey. So all of these people are going to be like within the actual mastermind. That's, again, it helps raise the skill ceiling, if you will. So that's one thing that we do. Another thing as well is when you're doing a mastermind, you almost need to be a little bit of a stalker. So you need to try and find out, like, okay, which masterminds has Annie been in and who's been in her mastermind group, and making certain that there's no other person that she's previously been in a mastermind with. So you've got things like that to take into consideration. You can also take a look at like what industries they're in. So for example, if you were in e-commerce, I would try and maybe match you up with other people in e-commerce. If you were doing link building, try and match you up with other link building experts as well. So yeah, you need to, it's almost like, you almost kind of need to be like a matchmaker in that sense.
Actually, Otis is sponsoring the event, right?
Yes, they are.
Nice. I didn't know that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, Otis are like the, I like to call them the bad influence, because they've sponsored all of the parties. So I'm hoping that nobody goes to all the parties and just comes hungover the next day.
That's cool. Like, so as Otis as sponsors, do you also let people coming from Otis attend the mastermind event?
Yeah. So last year we had, I think it was just Alex last year that attended from Otis to the mastermind. But he was in like a black hat / iGaming group, which is exactly what he wanted to be in. When
did you hit your first 7 figures?
First 7 figures. Personally, I haven't, but that doesn't mean that my businesses haven't. I feel like there's two differences. So a lot of business owners, personally, like on paper, I make fuck all money, but my businesses make the money. So yeah, I feel like you need a good accountant for that. When I made my first 7 figures 4 years ago.
You mean your business or you?
My business.
So your business hit 7 figures when you were 24. That's freaking insane. How did you get there?
A lot of hard work.
Yeah, okay, so again,
that's it?
No. 15-year-old Kasra started flipping cars. Take us from 15-year-old Kasra flipping cars to 24-year-old Kasra hitting 7 figures. And how did you feel when that happened?
I wouldn't say that there's like a secret golden bullet. Like it is literally just, like, it's the boring shit that nobody wants to do. Fixing SOPs, hiring the correct staff, making certain that you're actually doing marketing. A lot of, I don't know if you've ever looked at this, but a lot of businesses that are doing SEO, they actually suck at doing SEO for their own business, but they're amazing at doing SEO for their clients.
Yeah.
So like making certain that like there's people actually having conversations about you or your business, that can definitely help.
So personal branding is what really edged you over?
Yeah, I would say personal branding definitely helped. I think that having a lot of diversity also helped as well. So again, some people you speak to, they say, oh, you just focus on this one thing and be really good at it. But if you were to take a look at like people that got hit in the helpful content update in 2023, a lot of them only had a blog website, and that got penalized. So that's also to say, like, you shouldn't be focusing on one thing. You should try multiple things and see what works out of all of them. So having like diversity of income definitely helps. Having a personal brand definitely helps. Being consistent, like showing up every single day. Like I've been out in Vietnam now for 6 weeks now, and I've still done daily video uploads. I think we're on like month 5 now. It's a bitch to do. It's a grind. I'm not going to say that it's easy, but yeah, it's what people don't speak about is what makes them the millions. It's not what they speak about. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. When do you think that you personally will hit that 7 figures for yourself?
7 figures? I don't think I would want to hit 7 figures for myself because there's a lot of tax.
Okay, so what's the logic? So what are you trying to skirt under, because I'm trying to copy your plan. Let's go.
In the UK, for example, if your company makes money and you were to take that money and let's say buy 5 rental properties, you don't need to technically pay tax on that because you've invested that money. So you can do things like that, for example. You can buy up other businesses, which is one thing that I've done. I've bought up like 4 or 5 different companies now. Not fully, like I've bought a share of them because I still want that person running the business. I don't want to run that business. I just want to be the market of that business. So there's all of those different things that you can do. You can start up new companies as well. So you can like literally loan money from the company that's made money into a new company. And again, you technically don't need to pay tax on that as well. Like taking money out of a business is probably the worst thing that you could do because you're going to get hit with like 40% tax in the UK.
Okay, keep all the money in the business.
But they give you retirement money or something, right, in the UK?
This is an interesting topic. I don't believe in pensions. I think that they are the biggest scam. This isn't financial advice, so I don't want you guys to get sued. This is my opinion. I do not like pension pots because I know a lot of pension pot owners in the UK, people that actually set up the pension pots. And this is nothing against them, but I think that they're the biggest scam because they buy up the assets that we're trying to sell as SEO. So I know pension pots that buy up gambling affiliate websites that could get penalized any single day. They buy up a load of crypto, they buy up real estate, they buy up all of these different assets. And then they say, hey, Annie, we've made 4% this year on your pension pot. So I've always said that if I have to rely on a pension pot by the time I retire, I've done something seriously wrong in my life. So I never want to rely on a pension pot. I want to make my own money. I feel like personally, I can make a much better investment every single year than the 4 or 5% a pension pot would give me. Like I would need to be an absolute idiot to not make 4 or 5% on, I don't know, 5 grand, 10 grand.
That's fair, I guess. In India, we don't have pension fund.
Yeah, I don't really trust the government. So, yeah.
It's a scam.
Invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge.
When did you think that you had to like start working on your personal brand? When you had like started your own business? Or is it when you met somebody and thought like, oh yeah, I need to do for myself as well?
I mean, I still am quite a big fan of both Matt Diggity and also Craig Campbell. There was also another guy like way back called Daryl Rosser. I think he lives in Vietnam. But and also another one, Chris Walker as well. So all 4 of those, they had like pretty big personal brands when I was first getting into SEO. And for like the longest time ever, I was always like, oh, I don't want to be on stage. I think it's cringe. I think it just wasn't me. So
It's still not you.
I mean, the content that they put out was like really good, but I just wouldn't see myself doing it. And then like after like we invested into like a couple different like SEO related businesses, and they needed like a personal brand, like a face to it. So I was like, all right, well nobody else wants to do it, so I'll do it. And like the first videos, like I had like a camera like you've got there. It would take me like 3 hours to record like an 11-minute video. So I was like, this is dreadful.
It's terrible. It's hard.
So I met Julian Goldie. He was like, yeah, why don't you just do daily videos? I'm like, daily fucking videos? He was like, well, I'm doing it. And actually, do you know what? It was 2 people that specifically told me you should do daily videos. James said that I'm a pussy and I should do daily videos. He literally told me that I'm a bitch.
I could hear his voice.
And then Julian Goldie said it in a nicer way. He was like, mate, you should just try out daily videos, like scrap the script and stuff, like teleprompter. It takes too long. Just send out a Loom video. And like at the time, I was like, well, I'm already sending Loom videos to my staff to train them up on SOPs and stuff. So like how hard could it be from transitioning from an internal Loom video to a Loom video that goes live on YouTube? So started doing daily videos, got really good traction. Fast forward, I think it's been like 3 years now. We're at like 36,000 subscribers. It is like, some days you do wake up and you're like, oh, this is boring. But then when you don't do a daily video, you're like, oh, that was a bit weird.
Oh, so you got to get to the point where it becomes a habit.
Yeah, so like I stopped doing daily videos after 18 months last year because I was like, right, I need to plan out the masterminders. I want all my focus on this one thing because it was the first time it was a standalone conference. So I stopped doing daily videos for about 6 months. And then I started doing daily videos back in October last year until now. And I always say, like, if I get past the 20-day mark, it will be like routine. Usually it's like 90 days for like a routine to like actually form. But like I'm always in my head, like if I do it for 20 days, I know I'll do it for like the rest of the year. So yeah, I started doing it for like the 20 days. And I don't know if you know much about the YouTube algorithm, but when you initially start uploading videos to YouTube, like it just doesn't get any reach.
Yeah,
so,
no
like,
traction at all.
You need like you're like watching the view count, you're like begging for like 50 views, and then like as soon as like 50 views come in, YouTube's like, oh okay, we'll show it to like another 50 views, and then like you do your second video after that, and it will get pushed to like 150 views. So yeah, it's like rolling a massive rock up a hill.
Yeah.
But once you start doing routine work, it works out pretty well. And not only that as well, like with daily videos, you get a much quicker feedback loop. So if your video on like Monday sucked, but your video on Wednesday like popped off, like who cares about your Monday video? So that's another reason why I do daily videos. And also, a little bit of an interesting fact for people, 70% of my viewership is brand new viewers. So like if it was like, I don't know, like 10%, I probably wouldn't do daily videos, but 70% is quite high. So I don't mind doing daily videos because I'm just getting my name in front of more and more people.
Okay, so how high effort or low effort are these daily videos? Because like my struggle is that I'm a content creator. I produce pretty high quality effort videos. I put like my heart and soul into it, and it's kind of hard to like bring it down to like a Loom video for me. But like, what are your thought process when just pushing out these daily videos?
The daily videos, it's not actually, it is pretty low effort to like push record on Loom. I would say the thought process of like, okay, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to structure it? For it to actually be entertaining, that's probably the harder part. Like anyone can like download Loom on their MacBook and press record, right? But it's the actual thought process and structuring it as well. Because like another big aspect to the YouTube algorithm is retention rate, right? So like if you publish a 13-minute video and people click off after 10 seconds,
yeah, your video's trash. Yeah.
But if you can like get people to be like, oh, this is amazing, and at least watch 4 minutes of the video or 5 or 6 minutes of the video, then that's brilliant. So you also need to think of it like that as well. So it's almost like a storytelling or a script writing in your brain.
Yeah.
I would say that that's the hard part because like, I don't know if you guys have watched my videos, but SEO is just boring. Like
it's so boring.
It's the most mundane thing ever to talk about. Like, oh, today I'm going to be talking about internal links. Today I'm going to be talking about link building, right?
So how do you make it entertaining?
I feel like you've got ADHD. Right?
Excuse me.
Isn't that obvious?
No, everyone.
So like, I always think like, okay, how would Annie respond to this video?
Yes.
Or like, how would I respond to this video? Because I'm not going to watch like a 25-minute video on like how to do link building, right? But if I can condense that down to like 12 minutes of like, here's the juicy things that you need to know about, then that's brilliant. So I always try and like compact information down as much as I can. I'm not going to lie, I'm probably not the best at doing that because like some of my videos are 32 minutes long. Like I done a video the other day and it was like 1 hour and 10 minutes. Non-stop.
Yo, what is the SEO strategy that is like slapping right now, 2026?
I think that Google is no longer a search engine. It is more of a brand engine. If you can have entities associated with your brand, like let's say Annie is the professional videographer that you need at every single conference, right? If Google understands that about you, it's going to be able to show your brand up. So let's say if somebody searches Annie, right, your brand would actually show up. So I feel like Google's pivoting more towards a brand engine as opposed to a search engine. And not only that as well, like the blogs and long tail articles and stuff like that, they are all getting stormed by AI overviews anyway. So try and focus more on your brand. How can you get more clicks to your brand? And also step outside of SEO as well. Like I feel like so many SEOs are just tailored on doing or focused on doing just SEO. I think that's like a really bad strategy. It's like saying, okay, I'm only going to do video content, right? I mean, video is great. It would probably be my number one thing to do, but try and also have all of these different diversifications, because if video falls tomorrow, then what are you going to rely on? Are you going to rely on Facebook ads? Are you going to rely on SEO? Are you going to rely on PPC, for example?
I'm going to rely on pole dancing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I thought you were doing aerial.
Oh, aerial dancing. But this... Oh, Jesus. I feel like every entrepreneur had to like break out of the bubble because they had a moment that they were like, I can't live like this anymore. Like, I'm too broke. I can't do anything with my life. What was that moment for you?
Were you ever broke? That's the first question.
Were you a brokey?
I mean, my family weren't rich. If like they weren't rich, but they also weren't poor. Like if I wanted something, I would need to probably save up for it. Like that's how I got my first like gaming PC. Sold the cars, saved up the money, bought a PC. I've had a few. I wouldn't really say rock bottoms, but I've had a few like points in life where I'm like, oh, I don't want that. One of the earliest ones, I was actually speaking to Mike D about this. Like I remember this clear as day. Like I just finished like going to the cinema with my friends, and I was waiting for like mum and dad to pick me up. This is like when I was like 12, and there was like it must have been like 60-year-old man working in McDonald's. And I'm like, I mean, by the way, I don't mean any disrespect to that guy. Maybe he was loving life, but I do not want to be working in McDonald's when I'm 60. So that was like one thing that I'm like, yeah, I just do not want this. I would also say like very early on, like when I was like 2 or 3, I would remember like my dad would always like wake up and go to work, and he would like come back like really late at night. So I wouldn't like really spend much time with like my dad, and I don't want that for my kids. So I'm trying to like do as much work as I possibly can now before I actually have kids. So it means that I can, I mean, I'm sure I'll always be a workaholic, but it means that I can always spend some time like with like my kids and stuff like that as well. And then another, not rock bottom, but like a point where I'm like, oh shit, is when Facebook released, it was like the iOS update, and a lot of like ad campaigns got hit, like a lot of marketers got hit. And we were at the time like absolutely crushing it on Facebook ads, like spending £15,000-20,000 a day on ads, and literally like our entire funnel like fell apart just from this one update. But that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. Don't rely on like one traffic source, right? So like if we were smart at the time, we would have been relying on Facebook ads and also PPC and also SEO and also video. At the time, we were only relying on Facebook and PPC. And I think Facebook maybe equated for about 40% of that traffic. So yeah, like just being omnipresent.
That's the rock bottom?
I mean, so
we want some gut-wrenching stuff. Okay, Vani, I feel like you have a story here. What's your rock bottom?
My rock bottom? Okay, I think it was when I was not fully content of what I was doing in life, and I just didn't have any direction I was just lost, and I had lost so many like friendships or people in my life. I had like a very bad relationship with my family at that time. I was not doing well financially. And that's when I, decided to like get into this industry actually, because it's quite new. It's just 2 years ago, but I feel like I've done pretty well, and now I'm like working for Otis, so I guess that's great. Yeah, I think it was all losing everything at the same time, and it was just like, okay, I need to do something different, and I need to find different ways of doing things, because especially like just teaching in Vietnam is just not helpful. It's easy money, but if you want to grow, just not in like a career, but also in personal life, I think you have to like try different things and see what works for you.
I think that doing something that you aren't seeing any personal growth is really difficult, especially if you're like, I have all of this potential and it feels like it's wasted. Now that you've mentioned that, I've been in a few situations like that before, where I'm like, this is like the like a glass ceiling almost. Like prior to meeting James, for example, I worked at an SEO agency, and I was the developer / technical SEO guy there, and I had all of these plans on like how to automate a lot of the clients' websites and making certain that like when WordPress does an update, it doesn't break 60 websites. And the owner of that company didn't want to do that. He saw it as more of a cost as opposed to a time saving. So I'm like, this is just a glass ceiling. I also think that a lot of people in the SEO space get into like endless hedonism. So
all the party, all the drinking, all the drugs.
Yeah. And
I'm sorry, that's a bad thing.
It's actually quite sad, because I've seen a lot of amazing talents getting wasted because they get hooked on drugs, they get hooked on alcohol. Like I've never done drugs, and the reason why I've never done drugs is because I think I do have an addictive personality. If I did start doing drugs, I'll probably be dead in 2 years' time. So I think that for the younger entrepreneurs, that's one piece of advice that I would give. Like, try to. I mean, it's great going to the parties, the girls, the drinking, the alcohol, the drugs, right? It's like the rock star lifestyle. Like, who wouldn't want that? But I think that a lot of SEOs, they start earning a lot of money very quickly and don't know what to do with it, and it's not normal life.
It's not. First year at Otis, I was so confused because like we have this business, and then we have networking, and then we have drinking, right? And I'm just like, am I allowed to do this? And I went a little crazy my first year, and that was the most unhinged I've lived in my life. Oh my gosh. And I can see that route going for me of like, I'm totally gonna get fired if I continued this route, right? And so many people have also just been let go because they are so unhinged. But that is why we curved it. I've curved it. I've reformed. But yeah, so thank you. So yeah, one of the things is like slowing down on the drinking, like no drinks, no drugs, like after parties, like go the F home, because you get a new addiction. The new addiction is growing your business, watching yourself grow, watching everyone around you grow, and investing in them. That's like the better addiction that I want to be hooked on.
There's no better feeling doing something knowing that you're going to be impacting somebody else's life, like in a positive way. So, like for example, if I make a deal that's going to help my SEO app, I'm buzzing, not because of me personally, but because I've got a team there. Like I've got a marketing team, I've got developers, they've all got families. So, I mean, an extra £500 for me isn't that much, but for them on their salary, that's like incredible, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
So yeah, doing small things like that's definitely going to help.
Yeah, that's one of my buzz too. Every time we acquire a new client, like each of my team members get like a percentage of that, and their wealth grows too. And a lot of the team members have that ceiling cap that you were talking about, And one of my goals is to like break that ceiling for them. Because ultimately, a lot of times, if we don't know someone in our lives that are living better life and breaking that ceiling, they'll still stay capped. So that's my high, is breaking that ceiling cap for people.
Yeah, that's good. I think if you've got like that mindset in mind, you'll always do quite well, because you're always going to be thinking about, okay, is this deal going to help my business and help my employees as well? Like Jason Hennessy always says, there's certain clients that might pay you really good money, but they might be absolute assholes to your staff, and you never want to deal with those types of clients.
Yeah. Who's your favorite staff member? And what's the growth that they've made that you're most proud of?
Can I say Lily?
Oh, yes, I love Lily too.
I knew it.
No, yes, tell me more about Lily.
She like organizes the entire event. Like,
Dude,
I'm just,
Lily runs your life, so come on, let's go.
I'm just like the pretty face on stage. Yeah, like she organizes the event. Like we had, so I'll tell you a funny story. Last year at the Masterminders, we had like 6 people downstairs like checking people in that I didn't even know about, that she had just hired. She was like, yeah, we need people to check in. There you go. So yeah, she just does things that I'm not really, I don't really know about, and then it kind of works out. But yeah, she's great. Like she allows me to work. Like we'll be sleeping, and like 2 a.m. I'll have like an idea, and I'll like break out the laptop and start working. So yeah, she lets me do that. She knows that like I enjoy doing work, and if she was to stop me doing that, I would be miserable. Mm-hmm. So she gets that. Not many females do get that. So yeah, she's great.
I love Lily. So Lily helps you with all the operations and bringing your ideals to life. Can you take me to where Lily started and where she is now?
Yeah, so Lily started as, I believe she was like an affiliate manager for a brand. I could be wrong in saying that. She was like hybrid affiliate / SEO. And she didn't really enjoy her job. And she came to like Chiang Mai. I met her at Chiang Mai. And then like maybe 2 or 3 months after that, like I ended up hiring her, as she was meant to be like the operations of my SEO agency. And then I very quickly realized I don't like doing SEO for clients. I prefer doing SEO for my own assets. Pretty greedy of me, but I'm a good SEO. I don't like doing SEO for other people. Very selective of who I do SEO for. So she kind of almost pivoted from being SEO operations manager into more of like events organizer / manager. But she does a lot of like the hiring, the firing. She, like all of our staff for this business specifically is all Vietnamese. So like she knows like when the Vietnamese holidays are, like when they're going out on breaks and stuff like I don't know
She takes care of all of that.
Yeah, like I'm the guy that would like message staff on like a weekend saying like, hey, can you do this? And then like I realize it's like a Saturday, and I'm like, oh, not everyone works on a Saturday.
You're just gonna have to wait till Monday, bud.
Yeah, exactly, right? So she does all of that. I think what she enjoys the most is like the organizing of the actual event. Like the organizing of the event, right? It's pretty much down to like how organized you are the 6 months before for those like 2 or 3 days. Like if you're not organized on those 6 or 7 months, like you're messing something up. So yeah, like she organizes that. Like the small little meetup that we done the other day, like that was all her. Like I was just like, right, we need to do a meetup. You've got a week. That was actually pretty stressful for her. She had a week to organize that. And I don't think I've told you guys about this. You know the backdrop behind us? The printing company messed up and printed last year's. backdrop.
Yeah,
No.
I thought it was an old one.
No, so the one that was behind us was fine, but if you looked in the back of it, it
Oh,
was
it's
last year's.
reversed. Oh, wow.
So yeah, like there was a slight mess up there, but for 1 week's notice, like she smashed out the park.
She's
nice.
incredible. Speaking of events and masterminders, tell to the camera when your event is happening.
24th to the 26th of June in Manchester.
Sign up for the sales that we got going on.
Yeah, click the link down below.
Yeah. And maybe Kasra won't refund your ticket if you meet his standards.
Yeah.
What's your advice for us?
I think scaling out the podcast. I think this will like if you bring on like 20, 30, 40, 50 guests, this will definitely help with your personal brand. And not only that as well, is it's gonna help you get aligned with a lot of industry experts. So like let's say for example you've done one with Craig, right? People are going to trust you that much more because they've seen you with Craig. Or let's say you do one with James, they're going to trust you more. So it's also going to indirectly help with like your sales calls, for example, as well.
Thank you for
Thank you,
joining
Kasra.
us.
Come back next week where we talk to Chris M. Walker. He said M specifically because there's like 20,000 Chris Walkers.
That is true.
All right, thank you.
Anyway.
Bam!